Whenever I go outside, I'm greeted by these large tomatoes, and it makes me happy. These are the Oxheart tomatoes. It's July 1st, and half the year's over. Today's also the last day of the cool part of the year for us in Southern California. We have overcast and 78 degrees today, but after today, it's going to be 80s, 90s, and then days of 100 degrees. Our tomatoes should ripen up nicely in the warmer weather. We have the Principe Borghese that has already begun ripening. We picked a couple for fresh eating, but the rest we're going to allow to stay on the vine to ripen, and after they ripen, we'll pick them off and dry them in the sun when it's 100 degrees outside. The Celebrity Hybrid tomato, there's one that's got a good color on it. We're waiting on the Cherokee Purple, and this year the cluster has really filled out. We're getting more tomatoes, but at the same time, if you have a lot on one cluster at one given time, the size is going to be smaller. So we're getting smaller Cherokee Purples, but we're getting more of them. If we wanted larger tomatoes, we would have removed a couple on here from here. But growing hands off is something that we like to do more of, and found that with bok choy you can grow hands off. Here is an illustration of how they look, and they can look pretty bad, and the look can be very alarming to a point where we feel like we need to throw pesticides or do something about them. But for the most part, they can survive the pill bugs and slugs that come at them, because they'll get to a certain point where it appears that they're not tasty to them. So here we go into our garden, our main garden, and look at our bok choy. They illustrate how well they can grow on their own. So at a later stage, there's fewer and fewer holes. So um, I'm guessing they don't taste to the bugs. Here's another one. At a more mature stage, we have 6 other plants elsewhere, and they've been our staple vegetable during the warmer part of the year. Earlier in the year, we were harvesting a lot of spinach, and as it gets warmer, we're relying on the bok choy. This is a hybrid variety. This is win-win, and we got the seeds through Johnny's Seeds. So that's one plant that we like to grow as hands-off as possible. We have the zinnias that continue to make the garden cheerful. This is a purple giant zinnia, and the ruffles have really filled out on this particular bloom. Um, they'll start off pretty flat like this, and then the petals will just keep pushing and pushing until they look like this. The other thing that we have in this little corner here is tomatillo, and we're waiting for them to get larger. They look like lanterns, and if they got divots on them, it's because I came in and squeezed to see how large the fruit is. They're pretty small right now, so they're not ready to go. Hopefully we can get a good harvest and make a salsa with them. Our bitter melon is growing over here, so I'm curious to know if we're gonna get some nice bitter melons this year. Strawberry popcorn, these ones are still developing. And then today, rather than risk it like I normally do with our sweet corn, by not doing anything and hoping that we don't find corn earworms in them, I went and put a couple of drops of cooking oil on the silks. And this tip came from Babbitt. She shares a lot of tips on our channel. I'm very grateful for her to visit and share with us some gardening tips. Normally in the past, I would just let them grow, and given that it's going to warm up and we're at the warmer part of the year, there's more likely to be earworms in there, so we want them to stay out. So the other trick that some people do is they put a clothespin at the tip to keep the earworms out. Over here we have our grafted tomato. This is a Oxheart, and I was debating whether to grow it single stem or let it grow multi-stem. Once again, it's just that with a large tomato, we want to minimize the distribution and rather than get many small or medium, we want a few but large. So we're going to experiment. We're going to let it grow multi-stem. We're going to let 2 leaders grow from this base down here, and then we'll see how it grows. And then we have a volunteer fern leaf dill plant. These are really pretty. Let's take a pause and enjoy that. Back here is our national pickling cucumber. We already harvested a couple and pickled them. So we did some pickle spears and pickle slices. And here's some more that's coming on this vine. So it's gonna be a really good pickle year for us. The other thing that's in here that we're trialing is potatoes. So we're trying to grow potatoes in succession and have potatoes to harvest throughout the year. These fabric grow bags, people have gotten great success from them, and we're going to test them out for ourselves to see how they do. So please visit again and see how these guys are doing. We have a Burbank variety, which is a cooler season variety, and then we have a Yukon Gold, which is a warmer season, and we expect a lot of potatoes from this variety than say the cooler season one, because it's getting warm. Let's see what else is in here. Our Romas, we got a bed full of them. And then our zucchini, they're taking a break. We've been getting a lot every day. Been eating a lot and enjoying them, and then had some to share. They're taking a break. I think their production is slowing down. So in this open patch here, I threw a couple of zucchini seeds down. Hopefully the plants will survive direct sowing. So hopefully they'll grow nice and fast and not get eaten by bugs. And then here we have our pepper bed. We're dedicating this entire bed to peppers because we expect them to be perennials. I've discovered that peppers can overwinter very easily, and by very easily I mean like we just leave it alone and not even have to prune them back or anything. And this cayenne pepper was a surprise. Didn't expect them to get this long, and this is a normal size for this variety. It's from Burpee Gardens, so it's the Ristra cayenne number 2. And then I want to show you the greenhouse, and then we'll break away and talk to you in another video. This is our bell pepper plant, and it's doing really well. It's overwintered. So until next time, please visit again and see how our plants are growing, and I'll see you in the next video.